Hello, so this is CPSC310 Project Team 120. My name is Seungwon Lim, and my partner Chen Hua is with me to demonstrate the Project C3 front-end demonstration. So first user story we're going to begin with is the add dataset. I'll just read out what the summary of the user story is. As a student trying to upload a dataset to the app, user or I want to be able to easily upload datasets using drag and drop feature so that I don't have to spend time manually inputting the data. Definition of done. Successful case is given a user is on the dataset input component, which is right here on the left hand side, the light blue component. When the user uploads a dataset by dragging dataset file into the drop input, so I will demonstrate that part right now. We have this CPSC file. We drop this and then specify the ID with the input text box. So I'm gonna input the CPSC dataset ID, and I will click submit. Then the application presents a success pop-up describing message that dataset has been successfully uploaded. So over here, this is the success message. Okay, and we also see that there's a 200 status on the fetch request. And just to further demonstrate that the data has been indeed added, here is the CPSC.json that we just added. And finally, we also see that in the console of our backend. If I can just drag in, if I can just find this. Okay, it's very difficult to bring the terminal up for some reason. There you go. So here's the console showing all the data here. So yeah, so we can tell that add dataset is successfully working. But there's a case where it will be unsuccessful. So I'm going to demonstrate unsuccessful scenario here. Given the user is on the dataset input component, which is right here. But then the user tries to upload the dataset by dragging dataset file with invalid ID into the drop input. So we're going to put an invalid ID, and an invalid ID is empty dataset ID. Excuse me. Empty dataset ID. And then I will demonstrate that again by dragging, dropping, the usual case, but then this time the user forgot to put the ID in. Then the application presents a warning pop-up describing the error with invalid ID, which is over here. So ID cannot be empty. That is the warning. Okay, so this wraps up the first user story demonstration. We'll move on to the second part. And in here, in particular, we have query high average user story. So as a UBC student, I want to be able to query Insight for Software courses that have have an average greater than a certain point, so that I can find easy courses as elective to boost up grades. Okay, fantastic. So the first part of the DOD is, or the first to demonstrate is a successful scenario. A reasonable range for course averages specified. So given the users on the query component or the page, which is the right hand side here, the light green, when the user enters the number 95 as the course average and clicks query, so I'm going to provide 95 here and then click query, then the application presents top courses with average higher than the given course. So let me just click OK to move on. So here's the then. It displays the results in the descending order. So 100 to 99.95, 99.57. So this is in descending order. So now you can easily see that CPSC310 is pretty good candidate to go for. You can also see that queries has been successful with a 200 status. Now we're gonna demonstrate a case where is unreasonable range. Given that the user is on the query page, which is right here. Actually, let me just refresh that. when the user enters a negative number as course average and click query. So I'm going to provide just ridiculous number, -10 average, which doesn't exist. Then the application stays on the main page, which is here, shows an shows an error in alert window, which is a pop-up right here, telling the user the input number is not reasonable, which is -1, and hence is invalid. So the average you entered was -10, so it gives us the warning, and it says you cannot give a negative number as course average. So that is the expected message we wanted to see. And as you can see, there's nothing in the network recorded because we weren't able to submit the query, which is what we expected behavior, right? So I'll show you again. There's nothing on the recorded on the network. So this wraps up our demonstration, and this was Team 120.